I was gone, and I am back now. So, welcome to the first Chit Chat and Chai of 2023. My name is Melanie, and I am very jazzed. I forgot my intro. And I am super jazzed to be here. Oh my goodness, it's been a minute. It is very close to my bedtime. I am drinking a chai tea, hence the name of the series, but it is caffeine free. We're in our PJs in the lower half, out of frame half, and yeah, I've got some new seeds that I ordered in. I have the wheels a-turning in my brain when it comes to planning the 2023 garden. I'm excited just to be here and hang out with you and chit-chat, as it were. Still very hot. Ooh, I slurped and burnt my hand all in one sweeping motion. That being said, I'm not going to make a lot of excuses for my YouTube hiatus. I can summarize it in a few key points, and it all kind of is tied up in a nice neat bow of the fact that I simply got really busy. And at a point in the summertime, it came down to do the project, harvest the crop, plant the garden, build the thing, or film. So at that point I kind of had to make an executive decision to actually do the thing and not necessarily document the thing. I haven't filmed in so long. Like I said, the summer just got busy. I have 2 jobs now, technically. So I kind of switched jobs right at the beginning of summer, had to get used to that. And then I actually picked up an additional job as well. I am very excited about this additional job. I suppose it would be called my side hustle, but it is an opportunity for me to work with some really lovely humans that I admire and I respect a lot. It's very creative. It's a wonderful outlet for me to grow and to learn new things, and I'm just really loving it, but it has taken some of my time, as it does, as working does. It is the way of our world, unfortunately. But no, it's been really good, but I have been juggling 2 jobs on top of everything we have going on here at the property and trying to maintain a semblance of sanity. Of course, the last time we touched base, I think, was during a July garden tour. This garden season was really weird for me. In many ways, I had incredible crops on plants that I haven't had incredible crops on before, like tomatoes. I got a massive tomato harvest compared to anything I've ever achieved before. But that being said, I got absolutely no butternut squash or only 3 spaghetti squash. So it was just a very topsy-turvy year in the garden. We have a lot of projects going on like we always do. I delved into doing meat birds this summer for the first time. To be honest, I was a little overwhelmed and I was having a hard time, am still slightly having a hard time managing my desire for a homestead and what I want and the dream and the excitement and the ideas, and also enjoying the process and having the patience for the process. So it's a learning curve. I think that's probably one of my resolutions, focuses, intentions with the homestead this coming season will be to slow down, enjoy creating, and enjoy the process, because we all know that that's the only way you're gonna have any kind of longevity to your homestead, to your projects, to anything you do in life, is if you learn to enjoy the process. And while I understand that in theory, really integrating that is something I think I will forever be getting better at, because it's really easy to see the end goal and get excited and want it and start the project or buy the materials. It's another thing to see said project all the way through. And I think I just got a little bit like mentally spread thin, so that slowed me down this past year quite a bit, but c'est la vie. The other point I wanted to bring up and why I've been gone since July, so like at least half of 2022, was the fact that I did some really intense, intentional work on myself. My spiritual practice has always been a big part of my life. I have shared glimpses of it and aspects of it here on the channel. I share a lot about it on Instagram, or more about it on Instagram, should I say. But this summer, I took some large steps in my spiritual journey in different ways with different medicines and different practices, and it's taken a while. It takes energy and time and patience and space to contemplate and integrate our teachings and our learnings and our understandings, and it's just been a heck of a few years, as everyone I'm sure knows, between just the shape of the world. Also, I hate to sound cliche, but the age that I'm at and making different life choices, like being out here on the property and homesteading, I've just had a lot of shifts and stuff. And this summer, I've really taken some time to contemplate and integrate and just sink into where I am right now and just get a little bit more comfortable in like existing joyfully. That's been the flavor. But it's humbling how much truly how much energy that takes. It just, you're tired by the end of the day and you could have done nothing but, you know, laid in your bed, done a few chores, and you're just exhausted. And I think we don't give ourselves enough space to contemplate or enough credit for like the amount of energy and work, like having the wheels turning in our head, that takes it out of you. So that's been a big aspect of my hiatus and a crazy summer. And winter, of course. I live in the northern hemisphere. It gets dark, it gets moody, to say the least. And I think the last kind of block / attributing factor to my 6-ish month hiatus has been trying to figure out what this channel is going to be. I have always juggled between gardening content, I have cannabis videos on here, I have witchcraft vlogs and witchcraft content, I have like DIY skincares and products, and for a long time I kind of felt a pressure to narrow down said channel. It's the marketing side of my brain. To narrow down a niche, get a direction that I'm going to take the channel in. And then it started getting really left brain for me. Like, these are the series, these are the videos I have to release, these are the videos I'm going to release each month, the order, the length of the video. And when I get, at least for myself personally, but when I get that deep into the left brain way of doing things, I lose that creative juice, that funness that I originally was the original inception point for a YouTube channel, was to create content, to play with cameras and to film things I find pretty and to connect with people online. So I think I just had to like reevaluate the intensity of my left brain focus of the channel and trying to get things figured and sorted and like branded and to become a brand. And it's like, I don't know if I can do that. And I don't know if I want to do that. So I've just, over the course of a few months, I've decided to just be a little bit more chill on myself about more things than just YouTube, but specifically allowing myself to create whatever I want and whatever I'm inspired to, and about whatever I feel called to share about. So yeah. I have a list of things. That's what's happening here. Touch points, key notes, if you will. And that was all of them. I've covered them all. That's it. That was the update I wanted to give you. I've been gone. You have a few reasons why. You've been updated on what's been happening. Now, let's look at some seeds that I got for the 2023 grow season, because your girl is excited. I'm going to also try and do this without showing you my address. And we are not going to be going through all of these. I just wanted to unpack the order that I got and take a little peruse. I ran out of things this year that I would consider like garden staples, so I had to go online and find a new garden staple or restock what I had. So for example, like pole beans, bush beans. I was gonna look for the pole beans, but then I realized that I have a lot more seeds in my hand. I can't just pull one out here. But I finally got my hands on some holy basil. I have been hearing, her name is Jess from Roots and Refuge Farm on YouTube here. She's a wonderful, inspirational, kind, lovely lady. If you don't follow her, take a look. She talks about holy basil so often. I think it's holy basil, yeah. And I haven't dabbled, and this year I'm dabbling. Easter egg radishes, they look cute. I'm a simple creature, and sometimes that's how I decide what I'm growing. Red noodle pole beans. I haven't successfully grown pole beans yet. I mean, I have grown them and I've harvested 2 or 3 beans per plant, but my pole bean endeavors have been challenged. I had rabbits eat my pole beans one year. This last year, I showed you guys in one of my garden tours, but I planted a bunch of different beans all out at the same time, and then I kind of got in my own head and psyched myself out thinking I planted the bush bean varieties where the pole beans should have gone, so near a trellis where they could have climbed. So then I switched them after I had planted them. So I uprooted them, then switched the plants, and then I realized that they were in fact not mixed up the first time around, so my pole beans didn't have anything to climb. It's been a struggle. So this year I'm really gonna do pole beans. We're gonna revisit pole beans. We're getting her done. Something else that's new, golden beetroot. I've never grown golden beets. We had some gorgeous beets this year and they got utterly destroyed by a rabbit. And the thing that's the worst part is that like this last grow season, I was gonna do beets. Just like I just said I was gonna do pole beans. I was like really determined to achieve like a solid beet. And I did, and I grew a beet, like several beets, but you know what I'm saying. I grew beets that were like softball size. And I was like, oh, that's so good. Next 2 or 3 days, I'm gonna come out here and harvest these beets. And then like this rabbit comes in and just eats at ground level, eats all of the beets. And then I can dig it up and I know how big these beets were because it was like half of a globe was still under the ground and they looked fantastic. I believe it was the Boro variety. I will be planting again this year. But I don't know, it counts. I feel like I counted as a win because I did grow the beets and they did do real good. But the bunnies got them. Or singular. I'm not sure how many there were, but I feel like it ate enough to be an army of rabbits. Not one bunny doesn't need all that beet. What else do we have in here? I've missed filming. Oh, so my birthday, what day is it today? January 2nd. My birthday is January 4th. Christmas and New Year's just passed, and I don't know if you can tell. I can sure tell because filming and setting everything up was way easier, and I can see my camera screen on my phone and it's super high tech, but my lovely partner bought me a camera for Christmas / my birthday. I'm currently filming on it. It's gorgeous. It has filled all of the dark crevices of my heart with hope and joy and creative juju. That's a little dramatic, but it is such a gift and I'm super excited about it and I'm just happy to be filming and to be here and it's great. So another cute thing I wanted to try this year would be like bachelor buttons and then a sultane mix for straw flowers. These both, if I am correct, I think I am, definitely straw flowers, and I'm pretty sure Benjamin buttons or bachelor buttons, Benjamin buttons. I'm pretty sure bachelor buttons are very similar to the straw flower, both of which I think are going to dry really well. I want to do my best to dry quite a few of these blooms this season to be able to make some dried flower arrangements. Maybe press them, but I really want to like hang them upside down because I know straw flowers maintain their color really well and hold shape pretty good once they're dried. So that's why I got these. I thought it would be cool to do like wreaths or like, you know, cute stuff with dried flowers. Branched out with some more basil too. I got mammoth basil. I just liked the idea of having a big basil leaf and maybe doing like a lettuce wrap or something. I don't know. More the merrier. Also new, we've got baby Pam pumpkins. I have a pretty short grow season, like 120 frost-free days, and the pumpkin varieties I've been trying to grow can grow within that season, but they don't ripen outside. So I'll harvest my pumpkins when they're dark green and then they ripen indoors, which is okay, but you don't have that experience of picking up like a big orange beautiful pumpkin off the vine outside, which is something I've been craving. I've also come to realize that maybe having massive pumpkins when I'm just feeding myself and my mother and maybe 1 or 2 guests every now and then is like hard. I can't eat a half a pumpkin, so my thought behind the baby Pams would be that they're significantly smaller, which means hopefully that they would mature on the vine or have an opportunity to mature on the vine compared to the big ones, as well as being smaller, so when we use them and eat them, it's not pumpkin soup for a week and a half, you know? That's exciting. I'm doing fennel this year. I've never grown fennel. That's new. Zinnias, different new zinnias. I've just branched out. I'm trying new things, but they're not like out of the world things. It's like I've grown pumpkins before. It's just a different variety. I've grown pole beans before. I grew spinach last year, but I grew it from starts, so I got seeds this year to try and grow it. We did have a remarkably cool spring last season, which is why I think my spinach did work out really well. We're not usually that cool here in the spring, so we'll see if spinach works out. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. Also got some arugula. Up until now, I've been growing like lettuce mixes, so I haven't been able to be like, oh, I like this type of lettuce. It's all been like mesclun mixes or whatever. That's why I'm trying like specific greens this season, just to switch it up a bit. Different type of cilantro. I've got some bok choy because I grew pak choy. Okra. I got like 2 okras because I messed up planting my okra. I started a bunch indoors last season, planted it out, and then it got totally eaten by, I think, slugs because it was a really wet start. And then I direct sowed okra way late in the season, and I still managed to get 1 or 2 actual okra off of there. So I'm just going to direct sow it this year. Hopefully that works. I'm excited because we do have quite hot and quite dry summers, so I'm finger crossed and thinking that okra, which usually grows in the southern United States really well, can handle our kind of like 40-degree summers up here and be happy. We'll see. I did a restock on some bush bean varieties and some snow peas. I did a couple other just beets restock. I've definitely, this last season I used up a lot of my last of like the remnants of seed bags, so it looks like quite a large seed order, but they're just like the staples. You wanna come up, Bubby? Come on up. Go. Thank you, just my puppy. Just my puppy. So, hi Ripley. Hello. Oh, thank you. Different type of cucumber this year because we have the high tunnel. I'm thinking some more like crop worthy cucumber varieties instead of just like nice salad, picking a few cucumbers here and there for fresh eating. Hopefully I'll be able to get some type of ferment off of these. They're just the national pickling cucumbers. I'm hoping to, you know, get like a larger crop to do some processing with pickles or whatever happens. Parsnips, never done parsnips. Parsnips have a surprisingly long time, like growth period. They have 120 days until they're mature, which is wild to me. For some reason I thought they would be just as fast as a carrot, and like this carrot, well, carrots are still, I guess, surprisingly long, 90 days. I don't know. It's just 120 days for a parsnip seems like it's a long time for like a white carrot, but Mom likes parsnips. We've never grown them. Seems to be a good storage crop, so we'll give it a go. More leeks. I got a few specific carrot varieties. Again, I have been growing carrots from like mixed bags, like those rainbow packs. I wanted to get a little bit like more specific in the types of carrots I was growing, just same story as the lettuces, to be able to be like, oh, I like this type or not that type. It's the little things. Another thing we've never grown is turnips. So I've got white globe purple top turnips. That's a new one. We've got the American purple top rutabaga. I have grown rutabagas, but this is a different variety. This is exciting. I've got rab/rapini broccoli. If I can show you that. Focus. Oh my god. Guys, my camera has autofocus. My other cameras didn't do that. Ah, yes. Oh, that's so satisfying. Look at it. Let's do it again. Yeah. That's so good. It's so good. Anyway, this is a broccoli We grew purple peacock sprouting broccoli last season. Mom and I really enjoyed it. They were prolific producers, produced all summer long. So much fresh eating, really tender, really flavorful. We blanched some and froze it. It's good after being frozen still, so I wanted to try different broccoli. I got this type in particular because they talk about like chopping the top and side shoots will grow. I just doubt my ability to get a broccoli to form a full head like you buy broccoli in the grocery store. Same with cauliflower. I don't think, just the heat that we have here, and to be honest, my lack of experience in growing vegetables, I don't think I'll be able to get a good broccoli head. So I went for the sprouting varieties intentionally to help better set myself up for success. Another thing I've never grown, kohlrabi. I forgot that I had bought kohlrabi in a store in the fall, and I ordered kohlrabi seeds, so now I have 2 different types of kohlrabi. That should be fun. I don't understand this vegetable. It's like gaining popularity. I've seen it grown on YouTube. I just don't understand what it's gonna taste like. I've never eaten it. And my guess, my prediction for my kohlrabi would be that it tastes like the stems of broccoli. Because that's the only thing, like I'm probably gonna like it. I think it's gonna be good, but I have no idea like texture wise, flavor wise. Who knows? There's more, of course. More pole beans, Blue Lake pole beans. I feel like Blue Lake is pretty standard. Do you guys grow Blue Lake? They're an heirloom variety. Yeah, see, it says here, consistently rated as one of the best varieties, best pole bean variety. So another endeavor that is new that I'm excited about for 2023 is endeavoring to grow grain-like crops. And I say grain-like because amaranth is not technically a grain. You're harvesting amaranth for the seed, and it doesn't have the build of a grain, or the things that classify grains as grains. It's missing some qualities. Like it doesn't have a gluten protein. I'm talking about this like I know what I'm talking about. I watched like 2 YouTube videos. Basically, this is not qualified to be considered a grain, but we use it like a grain. That's all I'm getting at. I've got 2 varieties. I've got the red callaloo amaranth and the Hopi red dye amaranth. I'm not looking to substitute our grain use or our wheat at all. I'm not looking to bake breads. What I am looking to do is potentially cut back on chicken feed. Whether that is like to actually make a significant dent in chicken feed or grow a crop that is useful in helping feed them. Like just something fun for them to do, something for them to pick at, something that's entertaining and nutritious and not like labor intensive for me, like freezing corn in ice cube trays. I envy people who do that. I like the idea. I'll do it probably once a summer, but like I got things to do, man. And like freezing corn kernels in ice cube trays, just like it's not up there on the list. But I do want my chickens to be happy and entertained and fed and you know, stimulated. So I just thought that this would be a good way to grow food for my chickens. And especially because I believe amaranth can grow in pretty poor or lackluster soil conditions, which means I can seed this along the perimeter of my fence line, which is my thought here. I haven't done a lot of research on this yet, but this is my tentative plan. There's a few areas, especially by like our greenhouse and our compost bay area, where we're going to be putting in some composting shelters that are just kind of open and the bracken takes over. So I thought that if I like suppress the bracken enough to get the amaranth a head start, that the amaranth could grow there. I don't have it in this seed order because I don't think that this seed company had it, but I also have sorghum coming in. Sorghum's a really interesting plant. I think it looks cool, first of all. But you can also like make a syrup out of the cane, kind of like cane sugar. And you can also use it as a grain. Very exciting stuff. Again, really good for the chickens. On chicken note, I have another kind of exciting 2023 announcement. I am, with my Christmas money from my father, purchasing a quail house, shelter, cage, and we're going to be getting quail and raising them for eggs, and then also incubating the eggs and doing a round of quail in the summer. After we do the round of meat birds, we'll easily be able to fit another 8 to 9 weeks for growing out the quail in our chicken tractor. Very excited for that. I'm excited to have an animal on the property that is not for meat, so that I could actually bond with it a little bit instead of having to remain healthfully, emotionally detached. Because meat chickens are fun and they have personalities and you get to know them and you love on them and you feed them and you're out there, but like, it's not a pet because you know you're gonna eat it. With egg layer quails, I'm excited to be able to have a bit more of a rapport with them. I'm excited for the unit I'm purchasing. I forget the name. I'll put it on the screen. I'm excited for the unit because it's self-contained. It has an automatic watering system. It's got a little feed trough. The eggs roll to the front. It's clean. It's compact. You can add layers to it. All of that is like so relieving to me, because the idea of starting another flippin' building project right now would be enough for me to like throw the towel in. No more building stuff. We have the cottage to finish. We've got the high tunnel to finish. We have the greenhouse to finish. We have to put in a flippin' root cellar. The list is long and I don't want to add anything to it this season. So hopefully 2023 is going to be the season of tying things up and having a self-contained, already ready to go unit coming in adds to the excitement for the quail, because I know it's not just like a massive building project that I'm taking on, which is a lot after a while. I'm not a carpenter. My mom is an incredible DIYer, but it takes us a while to figure things out, and learning curves and errors and just like work, guys. It's a lot of work. That sort of segues us into the livestock conversation. We raised meat birds last season, and it wasn't the easiest first experience. We definitely had a lot of deaths, ups and downs. I will be releasing a video sharing that experience with you. That being said, yes, we learned a lot. We are willing to give her another go. We love the meat. We've been eating off of them now. I think we started eating them in September, so a few months. Delicious. We've enjoyed it. Lots of soups, lots of roast chickens. Yeah, it's been great. So we will be doing meat birds again, despite the learning curves that were involved in our first round of meat birds. And adding to the poultry party, we're going to be doing quail. Like I mentioned, we're doing quail for the eggs, so we'll be keeping a small flock over the winter. Because we're going to be keeping a small flock over the winter, we have to have some type of insulated barn, not necessarily heated, but they need to be completely and entirely out of the elements. And I think insulating it would make sense to some degree, and potentially having a heat lamp in there for the coldest week or so of the winter. The way our winters seem to work is we're often -15 is pretty common, Celsius. But we do usually get like a nasty streak in the middle of the winter. This year was a couple weeks ago. We'll probably get another one, but it got down to -35. That's not common. Like, we don't hang out at -35 degrees Celsius, but we have gotten down there, and we've been down there for a few days at a time, sometimes a week and a bit. We actually had pipes freeze a couple of weeks ago, so we do get really cold here, and potentially having to heat the quail, it's gonna potentially be a reality. The unit I'm getting is quite small and self-contained, so if it's a really rough winter, we would even potentially be able to bring the quail indoors into our house. Not ideal, lots of kinks and things to sort out, but that has been one of the main reasons we haven't done egg chickens, egg layer chickens or egg quail, or any livestock that we have to overwinter, especially poultry, because we don't have heated barn space and we do have very real, very intense mountain winters here in Canada. So it's an aspect, it's part of living where we live. It also means we don't have poisonous spiders and snakes everywhere, and I don't have to worry about what's in my boots before I put them on, before I go outside. So you take what you can get. We just have very frigid temperatures. New seeds, quail dreams coming true. We get quail eggs. I've got this beautiful new camera which has just exponentially made filming so much easier. I can see myself. It's got autofocus. It's recording audio right into the camera. This has taken like 3 or 4 weird, janky little setups that I had and put them into one unit where I can actually just grab, go, and shoot, and it's just like exponentially easier than using my phone. And if I'm outside, I can't listen to music then, and like just so many tiny things that make getting your camera out and filming like a chore. This is just kind of a dream come true, and I've been looking at this camera for several years, so I'm feeling very blessed. This year is going to be a full one. It's going to have its ups and downs like they all do. I am going into it very optimistic and very excited. We have big plans for the property as always. More retreats, more community. I hope you enjoyed getting a little peek into my 2023 plans, and I hope my explanations and my sharing of the last half of 2022 helps you understand the mindset and the intentions and the goals that I have going into 2023 a bit better. I do want to remind you that you deserve some grace. New Year's can be full of pressure to change and achieve and, you know, be different, be better, whatever, which can be really good. I think it can be really good motivation, but it can also be like too much. It can be too much, especially if you don't take the time to stop and realize how far you've come, how great you are, the things you have achieved, you have accomplished. Those are just as important of points to reflect on and to contemplate as the areas that you need to grow and you need to improve. So please take the time to celebrate yourself a bit, give yourself some grace, and find joy in the process. Or don't. What do I know? But that's what I'm going to be trying to do here. So, as always, my friends, may the force be with you, and I will see you all back here very shortly with another video. Bye-bye.